Okay, it's day 153. This is part two. And as I explained in my last video, this MBZ guy is the kind of weapons minister for UAE. He's been selling containerized weapon systems through the port of Canaveral in Florida. This is the Project Pelican. So I have a guy here with a containerized weapons business out of the port of Canaveral. We know that. So where does he do his deals? Well, he does them in Las Vegas. Here's his ambassador right here doing Dumbo drops of girls doing drugs for weapons deals in Las Vegas at the hotel on the 37th floor of the Four Seasons. So I just see that as drugs for weapons, drugs for weapons, drugs for weapons. And then I look at it again and I say drugs for weapons. So how does it get from China Lake? How do the weapons and drugs move around? I would use an algorithm, a secure cryptographic algorithm to do that. I would use the TAO, the tailored access unit inside of our NSA to do those communications. I would have like a Mike Rogers or somebody uh, help manage that communications, and I would use the China Lake right over here. I would use this missile right here or something like that. Accoutrements of this missile. There's all kinds of things that they, in weapons testing, that they have energetics forms, test platforms, test apparatus. There's all kinds of things going back and forth between Nav Air, where this stuff is tested, and the firing ranges and so forth. So you have constant traffic. And just in dealing with the folks at NAVC and Nav Air, I can just tell you this is where it's always where the darkest weapons are, is where the drugs are. I don't know why that is, but it just is. Dow and DuPont, Dow and DuPont, Dow and DuPont. And again, how does Martin, Rashid, Ahmad, Moore, Butler, whoever else get to run this thing with no experience? I'm not saying he's involved in the drugs for weapons, drugs for weapons, drugs for weapons, but I am saying, how does a guy like that, who has no military experience, end up running this huge program for Nav Air? There's going to be a similar person at NAVC. So again, Trump is at the here's a person. Trump is at the White House today talking about an $800 billion deal today with Saudi Arabia for weapons, and saying we're not going to do ISIS weapons anymore. That's directly goring this guy's ox. MBZ's ox is getting gored. If you were Nancy Pelosi, or if you were Feinstein, wouldn't you call MBZ up and say, hey, let's get over there to the White House and talk to our people and get Trump to reconsider and cut us back into this business? If Trump closes down the Gulf Teaner business and the Gulf Teaner port, there goes all the Club K business. If he closes this down and he closes down that secure algorithm for our communications for Navy, then we're totally cut out of the business. So again, I go with Braverman saying follow the money. Don't follow people who. Q to me is somebody who runs the ball toward the goal line, and when he gets about at the 20-yard line, he runs into the hot dog stand. He's what they call a white rabbit in the intelligence business. I'm not saying it's Steve Pieczenik. I never said it was Steve Pieczenik. But I'm just saying that's Steve Pieczenik's MO as well, is run to the 20-yard line. All the fans are cheering, and then you run out of the stadium and you go get a hot dog. And you keep doing that over and over to divert people away from the truth here, which is MBZ was shipping weapons to ISIS for our Secretary of the Navy, the guy I just talked to, that Mohab guy or Mohar guy, and Hillary. That's just the bottom line. That's the honest truth. And everything that you've collected in terms of data tells you that. But for some reason, people want to follow Q and think it's Mark Zuckerberg. And when they drop the price of Facebook, they're just going to sell short and buy it when it gets to the bottom. This is where the action is. The King of Saudi, or the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, was in the Oval Office today talking about above the boards weapons business. The below the boards weapons business guys don't like that, period.